Good morning guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching my last two videos. I'm actually very surprised that you guys enjoyed my reset video, so I'm gonna make it into a series and I will be doing one for next month. So honestly, thank you for all the support that everyone's given me and everyone who's watching my vlog and coming back each week. I'm honestly grateful for each and every single one of you guys. Okay, so this week we're going to talk about some of the books that I find really interesting to read, which I continuously keep going back to because the writers have written such a good book that I feel like aspiring writers, people who genuinely want to level up their writing, will find these books really good. So this video is about books that will make you a better storyteller. Okay, so the reason why I'm making this video is, number one, you guys loved it when I did one last year. So I've upgraded some of the books. I've added some more books to the list. Part of the reason why I started my YouTube channel in the first place is to actually get clients and to promote my services, which is basically editorial services, content marketing services, and writing services. So I would love to work with brands, or I'd love to work with, it could be authors, it could be anyone who wants to level up their writing, copywriting for the brand, and I basically want to offer those services. I can do that for you. I can do content marketing, I can do content consultation. So part of that is me putting educational videos out there, and this series is part of that. So I hope you actually enjoy it. Alright, so let's get started because we have quite a few books to go through. I had this in my last video as well, but I just want to reiterate that this book, In Xanadu by William Dalrymple, is honestly, this is one of my most beloved books. When I bought this book, I honestly could not put it down. It's just the coolest book ever. I mean, I love the fact that he's a Cambridge graduate, number one, and this is basically a travel book. So during one of his, I think it's like, I can't remember, I think it's like spring or winter break, that he basically decided that he wanted to travel around the world. He wanted to retrace Marco Polo's route, and basically that's just what he did. And I think it's one of the coolest books I've ever read. The writing is really cool because obviously it was a while ago and the way that it's been written is really different. So the sentence structure is very different because at that time the sentence structure was very different. So this book was actually published in 1989. So the writing is very different and it's very cool. So I honestly love this book. Like, I always go back to it. It's also very inspiring to read because, number one, the writing is good, but the story is really interesting. There's also pictures. So there's pictures about his travels, what he's seen, which is really cool. Honestly, this is like such a treasure to buy, and I love William Dalrymple, a really good writer, knows what he's doing. So when I read this book, I was like, oh my god, I just want to write travel books and I just want to travel and that's all I want to do. So this is really inspirational. So yeah, this is honestly one of my top buys. I would highly recommend if you want to level up your writing, and if you actually if you want to go into travel writing or feature writing for travel magazines, this is definitely one of the greatest books about travel that you can ever read. I'm gonna take a break because I'm very thirsty. Okay, so the next one, the coziest biography I've ever read. It's called On Writing by Stephen King. Honestly, I love the cover because that's so cool how the picture is a picture of him in the office, and I love the old school retro TV there in the corner. It's just really cool. This book is basically, it's Stephen King writing about writing, and it talks about how you can level up your writing. It talks about the habit and specific things that Stephen King has, that he's been able to publish so many books and become such a well-known horror writer. He's published like over 1,000 books. It's crazy. It's just a really, really good book. My most underlined book. Every page, I've literally got something on I've annotated every single page. And it's also really cozy because he talks about a time when there isn't any social media, there isn't any internet, and as a child who grew up in the 90s, I just remember that cusp of when we just got that last decade, the 90s, where the internet was there, but it wasn't a big thing and everybody was present, people trusted each other, and you trusted each other. So if you say you were going to meet somewhere, you would actually show up at that place because there was no phones, and it just kind of goes back to the basics. His life just kind of go back to the time where there's no internet, and it's just like a simple time. So it does teach you about writing, but it's also talking about how if you go back to the basics, you actually become a better writer because you don't have any distractions. So this is honestly the coziest book that I've ever read because it really just is quite nostalgic to me. But I think anyone who reads it will find it really cozy because I think the internet has kind of made us forget about writing and forget about the fact that people publish books, and also that magazines are available. You could read stuff on magazines, which you don't really get that much now. So this is honestly like one of my favorite books. Like he talks about when he was a kid, he used to print newspapers or print papers with like ink, and that's such a cool thing because I remember buying printing press kits when I was a kid. So it's just things like that which maybe kids these days don't know about. But yeah, it's like the coziest read I've ever read. It's like super cozy. So yeah, I would highly recommend that if you want to level up and really get into the mode of being a writer, then this is a must read. The next one, it's a series of books. Basically, this is the entire collection by Laurie Gilmore. All the books in the series of Dream Harbor, which is, again, it's such a cozy read, but Laurie Gilmore is a really good writer. She basically writes lots of different books. The Gingerbread Bakery, The Strawberry Patch Pancake House, The Christmas Tree Farm, The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, which is, it's my favorite, obviously, because it's about a bookstore. I mean, are you even surprised? And then The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. There's a lot of books, but this is really good for somebody looking to write small town books, but also kind of learning about the tropes of different relationships. This one is just basically for a cozy vibe. Friends to lovers, and then this one is kind of friends with benefits to lovers. This one is Christmas Tree Farm is enemies to lovers, and then this again is kind of like enemies to lovers. So it's really cool. Bakery is actually one of my favorite. It's like enemies to lovers, and then there's like friends to lovers. And I like love all the books because number one, they're giving me major cozy vibes, and I love that. Like, give me a small town romance any day and I will literally binge read it or binge watch it on Netflix. But what I love about these books is you can learn a lot about the type of romance tropes, and also I find romance novels really different. Romance books, romance stories, romance novels, all of them. They're actually, I personally find them quite difficult to write, but this is really cool because you get different tropes. And also, I am such a sucker for series. I love book series. I love when authors write books and it's on the same town about their friends and characters, and I honestly love books like that. It's probably why I loved Gossip Girl. But yeah, this is a really good read. I guarantee that if you don't like one of them, you like one of the other books. So she's done so many books that I guarantee you will like one of them because she is actually an excellent writer. She also writes under a pseudonym, and she writes like fantasy romance novels as well. So yeah, I would highly recommend reading a Laurie Gilmore book. Plus, the covers are super great. I mean, look at that. Look how cozy. And look how cozy that is. So yeah, that is Laurie Gilmore's collection of Dream Harbor series, which I highly recommend you guys read. My battery actually died, but I'm back. But first, let's take a quick tea break. Anyone else love jasmine tea as much as I do? Because I think I'm absolutely obsessed. So the next one is honestly one of my favorite finds. Shout out for YouTuber Kaylee Grace Apple for recommending these books because she honestly is exactly like the main character in the story, and she's recommended it. Honestly, I've read the first book and it's really cool. I've got 2 more books to go. So again, I'm a sucker for series. I love a good book series. This is A Discovery of Witches. The series is called All Souls, so it's called the All Souls series, and it's got 3 books in it. This is the first one, and there's 2 more. On Amazon, they've created like TV series for the book. I think it only has 3 seasons, which is 3 books, which makes sense. But this is written really well. So Deborah Harkness is an absolute intelligent woman. The way that she writes is so interesting. And I'm not gonna lie, I did have to read it a bit slower because there's a lot of long words that I didn't quite understand, and she writes really well because basically she's a history researcher in reality. Deborah Harkness is I think she's done a PhD in history, and so she's written these books and she writes other books as well. But Her knowledge of history is really good. Obviously, I mean, are you even surprised at this point? It's just such a good book. And also, like, I love supporting female writers. I feel like when I read books written by females, they're always so good and written so well. I mean, men write good books too, but nothing beats a good book by female. You know, I love supporting my fellow females. So this book is honestly one of the best series that I've gotten into. It's genuinely quite difficult for me to be stuck in a series because I've read so many books that I find it really difficult for books to kind of surprise me, or like for me to really get stuck into that I don't put down the book, and this series is definitely at the top of that list. So it's really good, and the way that she's written it is basically you kind of go back and forth. So the main character is Diana, who is a witch, and she falls in love with a vampire, and obviously it's forbidden. But the coolest thing is that Diana is working as a professor and also doing her PhD at Oxford. So I love a good dark academia, going back to school energy, so it's totally down my alley. But again, the writing is really good because she really knows what she's talking about, and it's a very mature way of writing. I think nowadays there's a lot of like basic language being used in books, and so this uses a bit more complicated, a bit more sophistication in the type of words that are chosen, and also the sentence structure is very different, and obviously the story is really good. It's really amazing. It's written really well. It's a mature read. Even though it's about vampires and witches, it's written really well. It's like reading a mature book. So honestly, the series, All Souls series, is one of the best ones you can read to kind of level up your writing. The next two books are the next two books are basically by the same author, but they help you level up your brain and kind of unlock your own potential. So I've literally given up the title for one of the books, but these two books, the first one is Think Again, and then the second one is Hidden Potential. So these two books by Adam Grant. So he's a professor at Wharton, and he's really good at what he talks about. Both of the books are generally just trying to open your brain to a wider way of thinking and kind of helping you lift those limiting beliefs that you have about your own brain and about your own potential, which is a really good thing for someone to read. So if you're somebody who thinks, you know what, I'm not that great of a writer, my native language is not English, and I really just want to be a writer, that's really what I want to do, then these two books are really good to read because it kind of talks about neuroscience as well as kind of finding your hidden potential. So Think Again is basically stuff like, you know, it's things like he talks about neuroscience and how your brain is neuroplastic. So yeah, these two books are really helpful if you're looking to kind of unlock your brain and get out of some limiting beliefs about your brain. So they're both from the 20s. So one was published, I think Again was published in 2021, and Hidden Potential was published in 2023. They're actually brilliant books to be reading if you're looking to kind of upgrade your way of thinking. And what I realized is when I read these books, it actually made me realize that I'm putting limiting beliefs on myself about how well I can write, and in order for me to actually become a writer, I kind of read these books and I worked on my brain, I worked on my writing skills, I listened to podcasts, I read a lot more books, and I kind of put myself in that situation where I was like, you know what, I can always learn more, I can always be more, there is hidden potential in me as well. There's a lot of science-backed opinions, exercises, opinions, thoughts, and they're all basically everything is research. So you can have a look, you can read the research. It's really, really good. And I feel like books like these type of books, I also read Daniel Kahneman, Malcolm Gladwell books, and other books that basically are based off of science, because it helps you upgrade and level up your life. And that usually gives me, with me, I found that it gives me a lot of confidence to do other things in my life. For example, when I read these books, I genuinely became a better writer, and I started scheduling time in every single day to write on my book and write different things, write my diary, and kind of look at my writing as if I'm critiquing my writing and not kind of capping myself, saying I can only be this good. It's always a skill, it's a process, and not just writing, it's also with a lot of other aspects of my life. So yeah, these type of books are really good. good. But I honestly love Adam Grant. I think he's a brilliant writer. He's a brilliant professor. If I ever get a chance, I would love to go see his lectures, and obviously I'm definitely waiting for his new books to come out. So yeah, these books are definitely going to make you a better writer. If not, they'll make you a better person and much more happier. Okay, so that is the end of the series. I wanted to make it short and sweet because I didn't want to bombard you guys with lots of books, because as writers, as brands who are trying to elevate your content or elevate your writing, it's really important to actually read, and you know that you have to read, but obviously not every book is going to help everyone. So I hope one of these books actually gives you guys some sort of guidance or direction in terms of how to level up your writing in order to attract the right type of clients or the right type of audience. So these books can be applied for anything. It could be from someone who's wanting to be a better writer to a brand who's just starting out and wants to write their content but doesn't know how to relay their story and how to connect with the audiences. And it can also be for established brands who are looking to kind of level up and maybe find a different type of audience or attract a different type of clients, and they can kind of read these books and then put their writing in effect or their content in effect, and like kind of and upgrade all their content in order to attract the right type of people. So honestly, this is what I've learned so far. It's the same as in writing as in a writer. If you're somebody who's writing a book, and then if you're somebody who's a content marketer or an editor assistant, which is what I did, reading is always the number one base of where you should start. And again, it's the same thing. The more you read, the better you get at content marketing, the better you get at connecting with audiences, and the better you get at writing and writing and engaging with people and having people engage with your content, your product, whatever it is. So yeah, I hope this video has been helpful, and thank you so much for watching. Again, hit the like and subscribe button, and follow me on Instagram as well, which I will link somewhere up there or down here. Okay, and I will see you next week.